Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Sheldon and this is Behind the Enthusiast. Today I have quite the bike for you guys. I already rode it home and my mustache is already screwed up from how crazy this model is. 2023 Sportster S. Now, for those of you who've been following the channel for a couple years now, you guys will know that I reviewed the 2021 model for the Sportster S when it first came out. However, I only got about 10 minutes on the bike, and so today I finally have a proper amount of time to actually test ride this bike, put it through its paces, really try this thing out, and see whether or not if my first impressions still stand true. Now, obviously, my favorite color is blue, and this is bright billiard blue. Love this color. This bike is super crazy. I'm going to get the rest of my gear on and I'm going to go through all the details with you guys. I'm going to basically go through some of my favorite sections of roads, all that stuff, put it through its paces to give you guys a proper review of this bike. So let's get into it. First things first, we got to start this baby up. Turn it on, let it load up. Really nice screen, TFT screen here. Tons of features on this. And I will show you guys some of the features here. So, all that stuff there. The modes. There you go. So that's rain, that's just regular road, and that is sport mode. I'm only been trying out sport mode because apparently that is the only mode, and obviously there's a bunch of other buttons here. I'm not going to go through absolutely everything, but going to make sure it's in neutral, which it is, and we will start this up. Alright, and here I am out on the open road, taking my first true test ride on this crazy bike. I know I keep saying it, it honestly is crazy. Other people who have ridden this bike, you know, depending on their experiences, they might think that this bike is rather tame. However, the torque delivery on this bike is completely different from the Pan Am. You still have the 1250 motor, however, instead of 150 horsepower, you have 120, and that torque delivery makes all the difference. This thing, just the way it hits is completely different from the Pan Am, and so riding this thing around, you know, you can see that I'm just cruising along, and even when I get onto the highway, I didn't feel like the bike was being moved around a lot. So for a bike that is relatively light, it is pretty much one of the lightest bikes in the lineup now, even lighter than a Sportster. So if you're coming off of, let's say a 1200, you know, a Roadster or something like that, and you switch over to the Sportster S, you're going to be completely blown away by the difference. You know, the Revolution Max motor, you've got, you know, a brand new model, you know, completely different setup. It's a modular setup, so everything is built around the engine because the part of the stress member setup on the bike. And so this thing comes apart relatively quick and easy, as far as I know. I've seen these things be dismantled in the service department, and they just amaze me. You know, the R&D, everything. And I'm not necessarily thinking about that stuff as I'm riding the bike. However, I definitely have an appreciation for it because this bike was meant to get the attention of young riders. And here I am flying through the tunnel. Coming out here, obviously, this was where I was, just trying to feel out the bike. You know, I generally like to cruise around on country roads. So being able to go onto the highway with confidence, you know, being able to use the mirrors, shoulder check, all that stuff. And actually, the one thing that I noticed about the mirrors, the positioning of the mirrors is actually really, really good. However, for some reason, my right hand seemed a little, I don't know, crowded. So I'm not sure if that was just the way that the bar end mirrors are positioned. Maybe it's just a personal thing for me, and it's just something to ignore. But I felt like the mid controls are probably not needed, simply because the forward controls on this bike, I mean, it's such a small bike as well. Anytime that I came up to a bump in the road, I was actually able to lift myself up enough so that I didn't even feel the bumps. And of course, relating to bumps, suspension, there is a dial on the left hand side, very easy to access. However, I just couldn't figure it out. I obviously didn't have an owner's manual to review before I went out on the bike, or even after. I did ask my buddy how to adjust it. It still didn't quite feel right. So I like that the option is there to adjust the suspension. However, definitely make sure that you adjust this before you guys go out on a test ride on this, because I found it rather harsh. The front end, you can't really adjust that, but the rear, you can kind of go up or down. So definitely look into adjusting that, or asking your salesman who's allowing you to go on the test ride, ask them beforehand how to adjust it properly for you and your weight. I just found it a little bit stiff regardless of which way I went, so I wasn't too happy personally with the rear suspension. I found it a little bit rough, and considering most of my bikes have pretty hard seats, having a stiff suspension is not good for me, especially if you guys have a bad back or something like that. So the suspension, spend the time to figure it out and see if you guys can dial it in for yourself, but it's super, super easy to adjust, which is nice. So the convenience feature for that is great. The mirrors are nice as well. The seat, personally, I think the seat was rather comfortable. I didn't find that it was too stiff. The only issue that I really had was it didn't really hold me in very well. But overall, a relatively comfortable seat. There is an optional one. I believe it is a sundowner, so you can get that as well. I would probably consider getting one of those for anyone who's going to be riding this bike, a lot. I can't necessarily specify a number, whether it be 100 kilometers or 50 kilometers or whatever, because obviously everyone is completely different. Some people have an iron butt and they can ride forever. Now, again, I'm going through all these different types of roads, trying to figure out how well put together this bike is. And honestly, I don't really have too many complaints about it. I've pretty much voiced that the mirror on the right kind of bugged me a little bit. The power and the driving modes, the rain mode and everything, that stuff right out of the gate. I mean, you're spending quite a bit of money on this, and you're getting so much value in this bike that if you guys are single, this is definitely a bike to pick up. If you guys want to throw the passenger components on and take your your girlfriend or whoever with you, you know, also a great option. I wouldn't necessarily put a kid on the back, but, you know, someone who has a little bit of experience, and make sure you put that passenger sissy bar on there as well. But this bike, to me, it is for someone who wants something fresh from their brand. This is someone who is switching over from a different brand, maybe Honda or Suzuki or Kawasaki, and they're thinking, Harleys are boring, Harleys are for old men. This bike proves that that is not the case. Anyone can get on a Harley-Davidson and find exactly what they want, and this is just one of those examples. And so I had an absolute blast riding this thing. Again, here I am continuing down what I deem to be a country road. This is more or less what I'm doing. You know, I'm cruising, I think most of the speeds are about 70 or 80. So that's generally where I'm at. Highway riding, I don't do a whole lot of. However, when I was on the highway, like I said, the bike seemed relatively stable. The only other thing that I didn't get to test until a little bit later was the lights. Now, LED lights generally are a great addition to a bike, especially if you didn't actually have them. This comes with an LED headlight, and although I won't be able to show you guys in this video, I was actually kind of disappointed. The pill-shaped headlight is honestly a little bit too small. I found that my Yamaha Scrambler, which has a regular headlight on it, actually did the same job. And obviously when I put the high beam on, it was really, really bright. I could see a lot of the road up ahead of me. However, I wasn't very impressed by this LED light, so perhaps there needs to be a revision there so that the light is actually cast out a little bit further. I don't like riding at night for that reason. A little bit disappointed in the headlight, unfortunately, but it still does a really good job when you put the high beam on. Well, guys, that was quite the epic ride, and I have to say, this thing kind of scares the shit out of me. When you're in sport mode, there's no holding back whatsoever from the bike. This thing gives you everything it has, and when you just wind on that throttle, it wants to go and never look back. And the consequence of that is obviously your gas mileage. I almost ran out of gas. I just made it home. I think there's maybe 20 kilometers left for the gas tank, according to the range meter. So I was cutting it a little bit close, but this thing, absolutely amazing. Handles really well. The brakes, one finger, my middle finger, is all I ever use on brakes. This thing is great for that. The rear brakes, however, they work. However, I found that when I was stopped, the bike had its tendency to creep backwards if you didn't have the rear brake pedal completely mashed down. If you were a little bit light on it, didn't seem to work all that well. So that's really the only issues with the brakes. And the bike, honestly, this thing is so refined, so smooth. The Revolution Max platform is, I mean, I don't know if people love it right now or if they hate it or if there's just a decent mix, but we have been selling these things, but I haven't really gotten a lot of true feedback like right now with me actually riding this bike and test riding it and going on some of my favorite roads and really getting a sense of what this bike is capable of. And so in terms of the ride, you know, you really got to hold on. The handlebars, it just wants to rip the handlebar right out of your hands. The seat, unfortunately, the seat doesn't really hold you in place either. I found that the edge of the seat is not quite high enough. I think if the back of it was just a little bit higher, maybe an inch, maybe 2 inches, maybe 2 inches is a little bit too much, but maybe even 2 inches would hold me better in the saddle, if you will. And I think that would be a little bit more reassuring when you're in sport mode, especially. To conserve fuel, I did go back to rain mode just to get home, which basically puts it in lit mode. So when you're first starting out on the bike, you can put it in rain mode. It's kind of, you know, restricted. Well, it's really restricted, actually. And there's nothing wrong with that, because if you are, let's say, on a ride with your partner, and your partner is saying, don't do anything stupid, that is the button, that is the mode. Push it, switch to rain mode before you guys go out, and just have a blast. This thing is great. Sounds good. It's really smooth though. You know, it's a little bit, I don't know if it's barky or raspy. I got mosquitoes here, so don't mind me swinging. But it's very flickable as well. I found that when I was going through a lot of the twisty roads, even just going in a straight line and just leaning the bike back and forth, it was really, really good. And aside from the gas tank maybe not being big enough, or sport mode just being that thirsty for gas, I really don't have any complaints, other than maybe bring a spare pair of underwear. Because this thing is nuts. Absolutely nuts. And I said it before, I said this thing is violent. I stand by that. I really honestly do. This thing is crazy, but in a good way. Would I own one? I'm not too sure. 19.5 plus $600 for the paint. We're looking at what, $21,000 for this bike, before taxes, before fees, all that stuff. So quite a bit of money. However, the technology and everything, the performance that you're going to get out of this bike is, I would say, well worth it. I haven't really compared it to other brands recently anyway, but I would say for what you're getting, this is the total package. Now obviously you can't take a passenger on here at the moment, but there is the option to do that, and you can obviously put a different exhaust on it. The black one at work actually has the Two Brothers Racing exhaust, the 2-in-1. That exhaust is on there with the tail tidy, I believe it is, or the fender eliminator. It's one of those types. Basically everything is incorporated into the license plate. It sticks right off the fender, and I'm not a huge fan of it personally. The exhaust sounds so crazy. Every time it gets started up, I want to plug my ears because it's so loud. So I don't know if I would do that to the bike necessarily, but in its stock format, I love it. It's great, but I'm not really in the market for a $20,000 motorcycle. At the end of this, we need to make a decision. Am I going to buy one? No, I'm not really in the market for it, but do I recommend that you guys go and try one of these things? There's a sticker on the fender. It says demo bike, test ride me. Go do it. You will not regret it. This model, Sportster S, 2023 in bright billiard blue. Check it out. We have, I believe, every single color in the showroom right now at the time of me recording this video. So if you go into my work at Claire's Harley-Davidson and you don't see anything left, you missed out. Now, Pan Am, Nightster, 975. If I get the chance, I will be reviewing these ones next to kind of bring everything back up to current year. The season is winding down a little bit, so I don't know if I will actually have time, but super grateful to have the opportunity to ride this one and talk about it with you guys. And if you guys have any questions, comments, leave them down below. Hopefully you guys liked this video, and if you did, make sure to smash that like button so I know that it's working. And of course, be sure to subscribe so you guys don't miss out on future content on the channel. This is a great reason why, so be sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.